Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back another video day. And today we're going to be talking about the Houston Astros potentially trading for the one-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, and batting champ from the 2023 season, Yandy Diaz. It's been reported that the Astros have interest in trading for Yandy Diaz, who has had a good season this year, although in his last 5 games he's going through a little bit of a slump. His last 5 games he is 3 for 20. And has also struck out a total of 4 times in his last 20 at-bats. So he's been going through a little bit of a slump recently. I think you even past the last 5 games, he's been struggling. And although he's been struggling recently, he's had a really good year in 2024 this season. 97 games, 429 plate appearances, 393 at-bats, 36 runs scored, 106 hits, 21 doubles, 9 home runs, 47 RBIs, which the home runs have actually gone down this year, and 32 walks, 62 strikeouts, batting average is .270, which has gone down from last year, which, I mean, hard to, keep at the same spot when he hit .330 last year. His on-base percentage is .326, and his OPS is .723. So, I mean, yeah. He's had a good season, and the Astros have interest in adding in another bat, preferably a first baseman. And Yandy Diaz could be a guy that the Astros could bring in. Now, we've already seen the Astros give up a bunch of prospects for someone to come in and fill in a void to a big need that the Astros have, and that's pitching at starting pitching with Yusei Kikuchi, and We saw the Astros bring in Yusei and give up Joey Loperfido, Jake Bloss, and also Will Wagner, which was an overpay. But that was what the Astros had to give up to get what they were in need for, and which was starting pitching. Dana Brown said the market for starting pitching was absolutely crazy, and the asking prices just went up and up and up, and it was something. Starting pitching was just something the Astros had to, they had to make an addition at starting pitching. Now, I don't think the market is as crazy for a bat or a first baseman like it is for starting pitching right now. I'm not saying the Astros are not going to have to give up, a bunch for Yandy Diaz, a guy who last year had a batting average of .330, and not only that, but also was the batting champ in 2023, but he also has had a little bit of a down year with a batting average of .270. He has had a way significant year this year in 2024 than in 2023. His home runs have gone down a bunch. His batting average, I know, is still good, but that has gone down. The on-base percentage has gone down a lot. The OPS has gone down a lot. Not only that, but the RBIs have gone down a lot. The hits are kind of the same, I guess you could say. I guess it's fair to say the hits are kind of the same, but the hits have gone down a little bit, and so it's been a down year for him. So not just a guy who is a great bat, but a guy who's had a little bit of a down year. Even though it's such a great season, it's a little bit of a down year from what we saw from him last season. And this is someone who doesn't have a lot of more control on his contract. Only the rest of this season and next season. So it's not this would not be a rental for the Astros. So this wouldn't be another trade where we look at it and say, oh, well, we're giving up these prospects for a rental. We're giving these prospects up for a 2-month, 3-month rental of Yandy Diaz. Nope, it would be different than that. The Astros would have him for the rest of this season, for the final 2-3 months of this season, regular season and postseason, and then they would have him for next season as well, which would be good for the Astros to have. And he could be a guy who could play first base next season for the Astros, or if the Astros want him to, if Alex Bregman leaves, he can play third base as well for the Astros. The Astros can plug him in at DH if they want to. They can put him in third. They can put him in at third or first or DH next year. It would be interesting to see where he would play for the Astros in 2025. But this would not be a rental. But the thing is I don't think the market is as high right now for a first baseman or a batter, or just a good bat like it might be for a starting pitcher. I think the starting pitchers right now have a lot more value in the trade market than some bats might have. So that's just I think that's what you might see, and I think you've seen it already. Starting pitchers have shown a lot of value so far. This year in the deadline, last year's deadline. So I think you're going to continue to see that. But so let's go over what I think the Astros could offer to the Tampa Bay Rays. And honestly, if they don't do this, I wouldn't be okay with the Astros giving up any more top prospects. I mean, I look at the top 4 guys right now, and number 1 is Jacob Melton. I would be upset if the Astros gave up him. He's a guy who is in the top 100 right now for MLB top prospects. He's number 66 in MLB's top 100 prospects. If this was Yandy Diaz after last season, then I'd be okay with it. After the season he had last year. If this was after last season, it would be 2020. You'd have him for this full season and for next season. So that'd be if this was after his year last year, you'd have him for 2 seasons. I'd be okay giving up Jacob Melton. Maybe he was a little bit younger as well. And other prospects for Yandy Diaz. But this is 2 months and 1 season of Yandy Diaz. So I don't think I'd be okay with Jacob Melton, Luis Baez, Bryce Matthews, or Zach DeZinzo going in this trade for Yandy Diaz. Those are the top 4 prospects right now. I would not be okay with the Astros giving up any of those 4 guys to get him. And honestly, I don't think the Astros would be okay with giving up any of those guys right there either. I think the one guy that the Astros would look at and potentially think about offering up for Yandy Diaz is potentially Luis Baez. I don't think Jacob Melton's going to be thrown at the Rays. I don't think I sure as hell know that Bryce Matthews is not. Zach DeZinzo, I think he's too important to the Astros right now, knowing that he very well could be the Alex Bregman replacement. I don't think he'll be available. But Luis Baez could be a guy who could be thrown in trade talks, but I don't think the Astros will deal him. But, I mean, let's get into what the Astros, might give up to get Yandy Diaz. And I think the next guy in the prospect list is Zach Cole, could be a guy who could be dealt to Tampa Bay Rays. I'm going to go over the trade package I would be okay with the Astros giving up to get Yandy Diaz. And honestly, adding in Yandy Diaz with what the Astros already have on their roster, adding in Yusei Kikuchi, could make them a World Series threat. But, I mean, as long as the Astros don't give up too much. And here's what I think would be a good price for the Astros to get Yandy Diaz. Keep in mind, he will be a free agent after next season. The Astros would give up their 5th best prospect, Zach Cole, who this year in the minor leagues playing in Double-A has a 255 batting average with an on-base percentage of .360, a OPS of .838 in 52 games, 184 at-bats, 21 runs scored, 47 hits, 11 doubles, 3 triples, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases. He's expected to make his Major League debut in 2025. The Astros would also give up their 28th best prospect, Shea Whitcomb. This is not your normal 28th best prospect. Shea Whitcomb has done some unbelievable things this year in the minor leagues. He's an infielder who can play shortstop, second baseman, and third baseman. And if the top 30 prospects were redone today, which actually I think there is an update with the top 30 prospects, I would expect that Shea Whitcomb would probably be like at least in the top 10. I think he'd probably land as the 7th or 8th best prospect in a updated prospect list for the Astros. But this year in Sugarland, he's been amazing. 94 games, 416 plate appearances, 357 at-bats, 64 runs scored, 104 hits, 17 doubles, 2 triples, 20 home runs, 70 RBIs. He has 25 stolen bases, with 47 walks, 84 strikeouts. His batting average is .291, and his OPS is 900, with the on-base percentage being almost .400. So Astros would be giving up someone who has almost .300 batting averages here with 20 home runs and 80 RBIs in AAA. Someone who's killing it in AA, who's the 5th best prospect. So those two guys, and then another piece to this trade that I think the Astros would add in would be Chas McCormick, outfielder, center fielder, left fielder, right fielder, plays it all in the outfield. Chas McCormick has had an off year in 2024, you could say. 62 games, 191 plate appearances, 173 at-bats, 23 runs scored, 36 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 14 walks, 55 strikeouts. His batting average is .210. His on-base percentage is .272, and his OPS is .600. So Chas has had a bad year this year, but I want to go over what Chas McCormick did in 2023, as I feel like a lot of Astros fans forget how good of a season Chas McCormick had in 2023. 115 games played, 457 plate appearances, 403 at-bats, 59 runs scored, 110 hits, 17 doubles, 2 triples, 22 home runs, 70 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, 40 walks, 117 strikeouts, 273 batting average, 353 on-base percentage, and an 850 OPS. So Chas McCormick in 2023 and 2022 showed how good of a hitter he was. Even in 2021. 2021 as a rookie, he had a 260 batting average. 2022, he had a 250 batting average. 2023 was the best year out of them all with a 273 batting average with 22 home runs and 70 RBIs and 20 stolen bases. So, look, I'm not saying that Chas McCormick is going to go to Tampa Bay and change everything around, but I think he could have a little bit of trade value just because of what he's done in prior seasons. Sure, has he, in this season, what we've seen from him this year, been terrible, absolutely terrible? Yes. But in prior years, he's been nothing but phenomenal. In his career, even though outside of this year, he still has a career batting average of .252, a career OPS of almost .800. So he's done a great job with the Astros outside of this season. Let me know your thoughts on the Astros potentially trading for Yandy Diaz. I'm not going to say that Chas McCormick, Zach Cole, and Shea Whitcomb would be enough. I'm not going to say that's enough for the Rays to, say yes to this deal. But I think as an Astros fan, I think that would be a reasonable offer. A top 5 prospect, the exact number 5 prospect who's doing pretty good in AA this year, 260 batting average, a 28th best prospect, but if the prospects were updated, it would be a top 10 guy in Shea Whitcomb, who has a almost 300 batting average this year with 20 home runs and 80 RBIs and 25 stolen bases in AAA. Those are great numbers and very flattering. And then Chas McCormick, who sure has had an off year this year in 2024 with 4 home runs and 21 RBIs with the Astros and a .210 batting average, but also a guy who has a 252 career batting average with the Astros in his 4-year career, and had a 273 batting average with the Astros in the 2023 season with 22 home runs, 70 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases. So, look, if Chas McCormick, Zach Cole, and Shea Whitcomb aren't enough for the Rays to send Yandy Diaz to the Astros should hang up the phone and not take it. They should not let Tampa Bay take advantage like they let Toronto take advantage. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Astros potentially trading for Yandy Diaz in the comment section. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Astros.